the doctor was like, I really don't know what to say about what we saw, but there's no damage. Like, nothing's wrong. And I think that doctor like walked away totally like, I don't know what happened, but this was awesome. And we told her like, oh, we have her prayed for. Like, this is what happened. So, Avery was a year old. It was about a month or so after her first birthday. And we had noticed that like she just was losing weight, looked really sick, and started like coughing a lot. And we just thought, well, maybe she just got a virus and it was just struggling to get rid of it. And so we took her in, and when we went in for the visit, we had found out that she had lost, it was close to 2 pounds.
Yeah.
And if you know our kids, like, they're not big to begin with. They're dinks. And
little things.
She was maybe 15 pounds to start with and dropped down to like close to 13. And I don't remember specifics, but that was very concerning. It was an immediate referral to Nationwide Children's, since we lived in Southern Ohio at the time. And they got us in there like within 2 weeks. But it was definitely, this needs taken care of sooner rather than later, because this child is clearly failing to thrive, like losing weight, struggling with all the things that would come with, like, her mobility was fine, but like we didn't want her to become affected like in any other way. So we had our first appointment up there, and Stephen took time off work and came up, and we had to see a GI specialist, and they took so much blood work and stool samples, and I mean,
like literally everything.
We had to go do a sweat test. Like, they were checking all sorts of stuff. And in conversations with her doctor, they said, you know, that we're needing to do some further testing, and so we scheduled an endoscopy. Yes, that is what it's called. So like this tiny little thing, and they were going to put her under and had to run a camera down, and they wanted to look at her, the first part of her intestines and see how like her pancreas was looking and all of that. There was a whole bunch of stuff that they had on their list that they wanted to check, because all of the lab work was showing there was a serious problem. And, so we had that scheduled. It was for, was it a Monday or a Tuesday?
Something like that.
Something.
Yeah.
And that Sunday before her test, we just happened to have a visiting pastor come in, a special speaker, and it was Pastor Brian Adams. He's home based out of Southern Ohio, but he spends a lot of time in Africa doing like healing ministries
all over the world, really.
Yeah. I've heard him talk about Africa a lot.
Yeah.
But, and we were like, oh, we need to get her prayed for, because we have this test coming up. Like, I want good results. And we never in a million years were like thinking a complete healing, but we just wanted the best possible. We're like, you know, God can fix this and God can make it better. So we pulled her out of the nursery and had her prayed for by him and by some other leaders in the church and friends. And then we just went home and had to make her fast, which was horrible. That's right. So we drove up there. We had to be there like ridiculously early. And they had to take her away, which was like so hard, because she was hungry. She wanted to nurse and she couldn't. And then it was a couple of hours. They pulled us into like this little closet room where they do their post-op things. And the doctor was like, I really don't know what to say about what we saw, but there's no damage. Like, nothing's wrong. They expected to see a bunch of scar tissue, like potentially like severe celiac disease. They had tested her pancreas. They like tickled it in a way that it would excrete the juice that it's supposed to for digestion. And that was all working perfectly. Mm-hmm. And so she was like, we're going to do follow-ups just to make sure that everything's okay. But as of right now, like we can't say why she lost this much weight. And so we were like, okay, awesome, great. And we went to our follow-ups. Every single lab work from then on was perfect. And clearly she's growing just fine.
Like a weed.
Yeah, she's going to be 9 in a couple of months. So, just having that happen, and, we didn't even expect it. I don't even know that I could say that my faith was like, yes, I want God to heal her. It was just, I wanted God to do something,
right.
Because if a child can't gain weight, if they spend all of their energy just trying to survive, they won't. They have to be able to do that. So that was really awesome. And I think that doctor walked away totally I don't know what happened, but this was awesome. And we told her oh, we had her prayed for. This is what happened. And I think we did follow-ups for about a year or so before I got the call. And she called me and said, okay, well, her last results came back perfect. We're going to release you. And I was like, thanks. Sorry to see you go, but not really sorry. And she's like, no, it's fine. I'm really happy. So that was good.
I was going to say, is just sitting there and you feel like you can't do anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, after the fact, it wasn't this elation like you would expect, but it was oh my gosh, I can breathe again.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's easy to forget that in those times, it's not always the big, hey, it's that being able to breathe again that God provides for us.
It's something that we brag about to the kids. I mean, they all know the stories that we tell them, because we brag on God. This is what he did for you specifically. And nothing like that ever happened in my childhood, but having that happen to me as a parent of a child, that was big. Just knowing I didn't even expect it and it still happened. That was awesome.